let's see if this microphone is any better. Perhaps it is. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much. So a couple of the housekeeping rules. So we have a Wi-Fi available here. It's called Soho Event, and the password is Soho3 Vent exclamation mark. So Soho3 Vent exclamation mark. Washrooms are here just on the right-hand side. Remember to use our hashtags when you are posting anything about this event. So hashtag LinkedIn Local and LinkedIn Local TO, and tag us, DYPB TO. We are trying our best to go live, streaming either on LinkedIn or Facebook as we speak. So say hello to the camera there on the back of the phone. And today we are going to have a couple of draws. So 3 lunch and learn sessions for any organizations with 10 employees or more. So 3 lunch and learn sessions, organizations with 10 employees or more, and enter at the DYPB table over there. On top of that, we have 10 online personal brand discovery courses featuring 20+ videos and 30+ exercises. And to enter that, it's applicable for everyone here at the entrance with the ladies. I would like to thank all the sponsors tonight, as well as our speakers, and the whole DYPB team. The agenda tonight. So, opening remarks by Bobby Umar, short talk by Dr. Shahab Anari. Then we have an open mic session, and all the audience can share, ask, or share a story or nugget about themselves. At 7:30 till 8 we have a networking break, and some of the food is available at that time again. From 8 o'clock onwards we have a panel discussion with all the speakers and our moderator. And 9 o'clock closing remarks, and then some open networking again. Let me share a little bit of my own journey with DYPB and the LinkedIn Locals. So 1 year ago, I fell in love with LinkedIn Locals. So I attended my very first LinkedIn Local, and there were immediately a few things that struck me. First of all, the event topic was a trending one. It was about storytelling and how to use that to promote yourself and your business. The vibe in the audience was amazing, and the feedback that we got was super positive. I met the event organizing team and came to realize that they all love to be part of the DYPB team. So I got curious, and I wanted to learn more. So I met Bob, and that's the rest of the story. Soon enough, I found myself working with the team and helping to organizing the upcoming events. And I learned a lot of things about DYPB. Working together with the team is very inspiring, and I feel very special to be part of the team. But it all comes down to the leader, Bobby Umar. Bobby is the CEO of DYPB. DYPB, who sponsors and organizes these events with an amazing team. Bobby's achievements are astonishing. He's among Inc. magazine's top 100 leadership speakers. He's 5-time TED speaker. He's been named in the top 75 LinkedIn influencers globally. He's a social media influencer with over 500,000 followers, and has gathered over 1 billion impressions. 1 billion impressions. As a digital marketer, I know that. So quite a bit. To us, as the DYPB team, he's like a dream boss. He's firm, but kind. He's supportive and inspiring. He's authentic and energetic action taker who has created amazing company culture. He's someone I look up. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Umar.
All right, well, done, yes. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. I'm very excited about being in this wonderful space. And also the amazing people that are here with us today. I want to talk briefly a bit about what DYPB does. Okay, so DYPB stands for Discovery. Well, one of the things I can tell you is that we use personal brand expertise to help individuals and organizations focus on three things. One is discovering your brand and who you are and what you stand for. Designing a brand to outline your target objectives of where you want to go with your career and your life. And then delivering your personal brand out there in the form of your strategy, your networking, your content, things like that. And personal brand is really important because for organizations, what they don't realize is that we educate organizations on the power of personal branding. Personal branding is something when people invest their time and energy into it. It creates three amazing things. Number one, your employees are more aligned. They have more meaning. They have more passion. They have more values activated. They feel part of something. Number two, your employees have more focus, clarity, purpose, and direction around what they're doing. And finally, number three is impact. If you have better alignment and you have better focus, you will then create better, you will have better impact, so better success, achieve results. And studies show at the end of the line that personal branding directly affects loyalty, retention, motivation, productivity. And so that's why we run the events we do in-house at companies. That's why we run events like this, where we have a personal development aspect to it. And that's why we also run the big conference, usually every year. This is how we started. And so that's what we do what we're doing. We also have now online programs, resources, and we're doing a lot of stuff, which is a lot of fun. LinkedIn Local is one of those things that we do. In fact, this year, we decided to do 4 LinkedIn Locals. Actually, we did 6 before this year. This is the first one, diversity, inclusion, and senior ranks. The next one in May is going to be on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and machine learning. The next one in July is going to be on succession planning in the senior ranks for the millennial uprise and the Zoomer Institute. And then finally, in October, we're doing on synthesizing complex data for stories. So if you're interested in any of these topics, or you know people that want to be involved, or maybe even speak, reach out to the team, let us know. Now the other big question is, well, diversity inclusion. Why diversity inclusion? Well, first off, I'm a person of color, so that's something that's important to me. But how does it relate to personal branding? Well, very simply, diversity inclusion is important to me. And we did an event on diversity inclusion 2 years ago, actually. So this is the second time we're doing it. But to me, empowering people, aligning with their values, understanding each person's unique voice, and making sure they have a say in their workplace, in their teams, with each other. Diversity inclusion is about empowering people. And so is personal branding. And personal branding allows you to empower these people to discover all aspects of their brand, which includes where I come from, what I believe, the experience that I have that no one else has. And that's why diversity inclusion is so important for us at DYPB and for running these events. So that's the reason why we're doing it. And of course, if you want to learn more about me and what DYPB does, we have a booth over there, and you can talk to people there. But for the most part, again, we spend our time putting these events together because we are also a big believer in community. Right? Communities of people, professionals, senior leaders who want to empower themselves to be better people, better leaders, and better personal brands. Because if you build a strong thought leadership personal brand for yourself, a better you is a better everything else. And that's my personal brand. Okay, so that's why we're here today. That's why I'm spending all my time and energy with an amazing team and these great volunteers to put these things together. Okay, so with that said, thank you for joining us, and I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Now, I met him personally. We met years ago at a coffee shop, and who knew back then that we'd become good friends and start organizing things together and collaborating on various initiatives, so I'm delighted to have him as a friend. Well, let me just share a bit about Dr. Shah. He's a multiple best-selling author, 2 million copies sold worldwide, professional speaker, and an experienced personal branding consultant. He speaks at close to 100 events per year on topics of personal and business development and has close to 200,000 engaged followers on social media. Furthermore, his company North Star Success regularly produces business conferences in Toronto. He's been featured in the Wall Street Journal, Yahoo Finance, and Toronto Star, and is now a contributor to Forbes. He's on a mission to help professionals grow their business, build their brands, and become an authority in their field. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Shahab Anari.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here amongst you guys. Thanks, Bobby, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. So, my name is Shahab. I'm a medical doctor by training, but it's a long story. I've never practiced medicine. I decided to sponsor this event because I really acknowledge and appreciate Bobby as a very good friend. Just like he said, as you could see from my accent, I wasn't born in Canada. I'm an immigrant, and when I first came to Canada after the first year in business, I hit a wall. And I'm going to share my story in a few minutes. And Bobby was one of the few people who actually helped me out at that point. And now, after so many years, I have a pretty successful company. I've helped over 4,000 business owners here in Canada build their brands. I've written multiple best-selling books, including the book How of Personal Branding. I will never forget how Bobby was one of the first few people, leaders of the industry, who actually answered my invitation for a meeting over coffee and shared with me his resources and his tools and tactics and strategies. So again, Bobby, thank you so much for that. Give him some love, show him some appreciation, give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Amazing. Okay. My company is called North Star Success. I have a booth over there. Please make sure you come to my booth and get yourself familiar with my stuff. We help professionals get more clients, build their brand, and become the authority in their field. I help entrepreneurs and business owners grow their business through personal branding. I've been in the coaching, consulting, training space for 21 years, 3 different countries, but specifically in the area of personal branding, I've been doing this for the past 5-6 years. We do coaching, we do training, I do keynote speeches, we also do book packages for our clients. We've published multiple books for our author clients. We run conferences, anything related to growing your business through personal branding. Let me share with you a little bit of my story. I originally come from Iran. Back in Iran, let me ask you a question. How many of you are immigrants? How many of you were not born in Canada? Please put your hands up. That's a pretty good number here. We immigrants are brave people, don't you think so? Yes or yes? Right? So, somehow, I was telling Bobby that we immigrants are crazy. Who leaves his or her comfort zone and moves to a new country and starts from scratch? And I was a pretty well-known figure in Iran, where I originally come from. I was a well-known instructor. I was a best-selling author, not the kind of best-selling author who is a best-selling author on Amazon today, but not tomorrow, who buys 20 books and becomes a best-selling author today, but not tomorrow. The real deal. I had sold more than 1.5 million copies, so I was pretty well-known in my space. I commanded high fees for my training and coaching. To cut this story short, I was very well-known in my field. But then, and honestly, whenever I traveled all over the country, I through sold-out seminars, and I was pretty established. But when I moved to Canada, just like you see the picture fades, I was a no-name speaker, still I'm a no-name speaker. The people in my sphere, in my network know me. Of course I've helped thousands of business owners, but I'm not a celebrity. Nobody of you knew me before this meeting. Still a no-name author, although I've sold more than 2 million copies of my books. And during the first year in business, I was following the general marketing advice, but I couldn't get clients consistently. And how is this relevant to diversity and inclusion? It's all about the struggles that immigrants go through when they first come to Canada. How many of you immigrants can resonate with this? The struggles of an immigrant when they want to find their career path, when they want to find the business one they want to go into, when they want to build their new business in Canada. All of us go through that, right? So the reality was that every day I woke up in the morning, I looked outside the window, and I was wondering why this is not happening for me. As an immigrant, as somebody who has the expertise, who has the knowledge, who is confident in his abilities, but is not getting results. It's not going anywhere. Just like you and I were sharing at a few minutes earlier. So after the first year in business, I hit a wall. I started getting anxiety attacks. I almost fell into depression, and I started seeing blood in my stool. I had a chronic inflammatory bowel disease, and for those of you who might be familiar with this jargon, IBD, this chronic disease is related to stress. And I have so much stress that my disease went into a flare. And a lot of immigrants, since I'm an immigrant, I've worked with a lot of immigrants, and a lot of immigrants gravitate to me because of my story. They tend to experience tremendous amounts of stress because they want to build their life in a new country, they want to get a good job, they want to start their business, and they have mountains of difficulties to overcome, right? So that was when I met Bobby, I met a few other leaders in this industry. I went through a lot of self-discovery, I took a lot of courses, worked with coaches, and I developed my own personal branding methodology that I've been using ever since to help my clients build their personal brands. I'm not going to go through every single step because we have limited time here, but my methodology for personal branding, for anybody who wants to become successful professionally through personal branding, is called the 3 C's. 3 C's. The first C is clarify, the second C is communicate, and the third C is close. So it's all about, first of all, clarifying what's your unique promise of value. So in order to build a strong personal brand, the first step is for you to discover and clarify what you stand for. What is your unique promise of value? Because you're either a commodity, just like everyone else in the market, everyone else competing for the same job, everyone else competing for the same position, everyone else doing the same kind of thing that you're doing. You're either a commodity or you're a unique promise of value. So the first thing is discovering that. Just like Bobby says, discover your personal brand. I call it clarifying your personal brand. And there are certain tools, methodologies, assessments. You can do self-reflection, and you can do a lot of things to clarify that unique promise of value. That's the first step. The second step is to communicate your personal brand to your audience. It could be through online tactics, like LinkedIn. It could be through networking and in-person meetings. And I always talk about 7 different marketing strategies for business owners and entrepreneurs to communicate their personal brand to their audiences. Networking, referrals, outreach, digital marketing, speaking, writing, and advertising. And of course, we can talk about those strategies for days and weeks. And the third step is close. And by close, I mean selling. Selling is a fundamental skill that every single one of us needs to learn. We're either in business and we're selling our products and services, or we're not business owners, we're just corporate people, but we need to sell ourselves. We need to sell our expertise. And by sales, I don't mean being sleazy and salesy and pushy, but I mean having the confidence and the skill set to convince your target audience, whoever they might be, that you are the one. you are the person, the best fit, and the one that can provide the solution to their problems. So if you're interested in learning more, obviously I'll be at the booth. Come talk to me during the break and I'll provide more information to you. After all of those struggles, I'm really happy. How many more minutes? 2 minutes. So after all those struggles, I'm really happy now that I'm a contributor to Forbes. I've been featured in the Wall Street Journal. I sit on the board of International Coach Federation Toronto chapter. I'm really happy for that. I'm the only immigrant to be a board member of the International Coach Federation. I'm a mentor with Futurepreneur Canada. We help a lot of startups. And I run very big events. Bobby spoke at this last event. 800 people showed up. I'm planning another event in April. I'm going to tell you about that. And this is that event. Today I'm the sponsor, and I have a gift for every one of you because you've invested your time, energy, and effort to be here. This is my next Personal Brand Mastery Conference. We're bringing in Dragon, Bruce Croxon, as our keynote speaker. Some of you might know Bruce. He's a very humble, down-to-earth guy, tech mogul, TV personality, very successful investor. He's our keynote speaker. We have wonderful panelists. Rola Dogger, president of Cisco Canada. Brandy Lapeso, founder of Beauty. This woman has gone from being homeless to becoming Chatelain's magazine Woman of the Year in 2018. Gone from homeless to Woman of the Year. And the third person on the panel is none other than our own very own good friend Bobby Omar. And there are 12 other workshops around the topic of personal branding if you're interested in the topic. 400 professionals will be at the event. Tremendous opportunity for networking, tremendous opportunity for learning, a full day of training, networking, meeting the dragon, speaking to Bobby and other wonderful panelists. Full day event, April 19th. It's almost in 2 months. It's a Sunday, and it's a ticketed event. We have regular tickets, we have VIP tickets, lunch is included, parking is free. But today, for you guys, we're offering 70% off. 70% off, because I personally would like to support you and help you with your personal branding. Obviously, when you come to our events, you will become familiar with our products and services and might become interested in our company as well. So please make sure you come to our booth. I'm going to explain more, and if you're interested, you can get your ticket, super early bird ticket at 70% off. Thank you so much. This is the link, by the way, if you'd like to go check out northstarsuccess.com. That's my company, northstarsuccess.com/PBM, Personal Brand Mastery. Again, I'll be at the booth, and I'll be happy to explain more to you. Thank you so much, and thanks, Bobby. Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you. All right, thanks so much, Shahab. And one of the things I love about you is that you're doing the same kind of work that we're trying to do. You're serving a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners, which I think is great. And we're doing similar stuff to help organizations and senior professionals in the workplace. So that is great. Now, the next part of the first half of the Meetup is one of our more popular items we do is called an open mic session. And what that means is we give an opportunity to the audience to come up and share something. Now, ideally, you can share whatever you want, just like 2 minutes, okay? But ideally, you can share a story about your experience with diversity and inclusion. You could share a nugget of wisdom that you've learned over the years in your professional lives. You can have an ask, maybe I'm looking for people in this, or I'm looking to do this, or maybe looking for a job, I don't know, it could be anything. But we give the opportunity for people in our audience because, again, we're a community, we're a family now. You're all my brothers and sisters, or maybe nephews, nieces when I'm old, right? So, actually, I don't have the beard anymore, so I look younger, but when the beard comes back, it's going to age like 10 years for sure. So, if anybody wants to come up and share a story or a nugget or an ask, I'd love to open right now. And we only have time for like 4 or 5, so first come, first served, then you can come up here.
Everybody hear me?
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
All right. Let's move faster. So guys, I'm really proud to be here. Just to say thank you very much for Bob, because 2 years ago I came to Canada. I landed here to learn English. I didn't speak absolutely nothing, just the basics. And then I improved myself, my personal branding. And then now I'm working my field in Canada. I started my process to immigrate to Canada. And also I support a lot of students with my story. Help them and support them to just build the world in Canada to do the same thing that I did here. And I'm here just to break the ice, to tell to everybody that you can do everything that you want. Because if I did, anyone here can do the best thing. Okay? Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you. Everyone, everyone's great.
When you speak, make sure you speak close to the mic so that people can hear you. Check. Is this better? All right, I'll give this to the speakers. I already have a loud voice, it's fine, right? Okay.
Hello everyone, just a quick introduction. My name is Neha and I'm an HR professional. I currently don't have any success story to share with you, but the reason why I came over here is perhaps, I can leave you guys back with a question. When you talk about diversity and inclusion, just as Shahab and I were discussing just at the beginning of the session. Just a quick question to all of you. What does diversity and inclusion mean to you all? So just 4 words. Just tell me currently, what does diversity and inclusion mean to you all? Okay. So when you talk about but when you're talking about diversity and inclusion, what are you actually trying to include? People, right? That comes to my next question. Justin Trudeau has a vision of making Canada, continuing the immigration in Canada for approximately 10 to 15 years. In 2020 alone, he's going to bring in around 400,000 immigrants from all across the globe. And he's not going to stop unless and until the immigrants population within Canada is at least 1% of the entire Canadian population. Now, I'm pretty sure that people over here, sitting over here, a lot of them would be in a position of influence, in a position of power. But what I see as an immigrant is a big disconnect between the corporates and our government's vision in terms of inculcating or incorporating those immigrants within the corporates over here. And let me quickly come back to this phrase that I've been currently getting too frustrated about, is the Canadian vicious circle of Canadian experience. I'm currently going through that. I'm currently getting very frustrated, demotivated. I really hope that I don't reach the stage where I have blood in my stool. But just to leave you guys with a thought as to people who are there in position or influencing position in different corporates, what are we doing to inculcate or include these immigrants within our society? I don't think we're doing much enough. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that. And one of the things about the open mic session is we need to be authentic and vulnerable and share what we really feel, which is great. I really appreciate you for doing that. I have someone over here, but if you want to, why don't you come step over there and wait for our next person. Come on up. Please make sure to introduce yourselves too. Yes, sir.
Hello everyone, my name is Radwan. I'm the co-founder of Link Mental Health. Thank you for sharing your story. I'd love to tell you a little bit about mine. I was going through a really difficult time, like many people do. Mental health wasn't really something that we spoke about in my community. So for the first time, tried to navigate through the mental health system. Tried to navigate through my EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, and felt that the system itself was overwhelming. And it's even harder for someone who comes from a diverse background or someone who's looking for a specific kind of help. So it oftentimes felt like, is this better? Yeah, sweet. So it oftentimes felt like the system was sort of created against me. So myself and a few people came together and we created Link Mental Health, an online platform that focuses on workplace mental health and bridging the gap, especially when it comes to diversity and inclusion. So what that looks like practically, because that's such a buzzy term, is really appealing towards factors that are often ignored, things like religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, proactive and reactive care and really bridging the gap that's there, especially for underrepresented communities. So the ask really is really just looking to engage with like-minded folk that are also interested in sort of seeing what D&I looks like from the perspective of mental health, especially within the workplace. Thank you.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thanks so much for that. And again, I love the shares we're giving. What's one? Another person. All right. Make sure you say your name.
I'm Wale. Wale Tawad. Just look at it. You know, you asked a question about what is diversity and inclusion. And what has always resonated with me, I came to Canada 2 years ago. And I saw diversity and inclusion not to be just under representation, but under participation. You know, currently a student at the Rothman School of Management, MBA student, and also currently the president of the African Caribbean Business Club. And when I got to Rothman School of Management, it was the #1 school, business school in the country, and University of Toronto being #1 school, and currently number 18 in the world. And interestingly, in the Rothman School of Management, we have less than 3% that are African Caribbean. And out of the 3%, I can tell you less than 0.5 are domestic African Caribbean. So the 2.5% out of the 3% are international students. So what's happened? Now, what we are doing is we are like routing Toronto to bring in blacks, African Caribbean students that are here into Rothman. So we need your support. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for sharing your stories and sharing your past. I really appreciate it. So at this point, a couple of things. So now we're going to take another networking break. So a big part of this is we also give ample time for networking, right? So we want you to talk to each other and get to know each other and build diverse connections. And this is your chance to do that. A few housekeeping things. Again, there's a draw for the online courses that we're actually giving away to 10 people. But we also have a draw for some companies. If you have a company of 10 or more people or a team of 10 or more people, we're actually having a draw for doing a full training session around one of our personal branding activities that DYPB does. It's a pretty good value. You go to the table there and enter the draw there and put your name, your business card in, and you can actually be part of that. Please go see the other sponsors and partners that we have here. If there's any food left or any drinks, please help yourself. But please network. We're going to come back here for the panel at 8 o'clock. All right? Thank you very much.